I think a lot of people are like, what happened to Mike the Cop? I think I get asked that question a lot. Like, seriously, people reach out to me and are like, hey, where's your dad? And I'm like, he's a pastor.
He's dead.
I should just start saying that. It's been a long time since you and I have sat down and talked.
Are these
on microphones?
Are these our OG?
Yeah, they are. They still use them.
Basement office
Yeah.
mics. I remember thinking how good these things sounded compared to no mics, maybe.
Well, we had the what's it called? We had the blue Yetis.
Oh yeah,
That's what we used. That's the blue
Very
Yetis.
true. When you lived in your grandfather's basement.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't live in the basement. You had your setup in the
I had
basement.
my setup down there, and
I
we
would go down
recorded
there and
videos
make
down there.
videos. Yeah.
Well, anyways, this is called the Underpaid Producer Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I basically interview whether you're from a creative person or an entrepreneur, business owner. You could own a restaurant. You could own a real estate brokerage. You could run a team of people at a company. Basically, just anybody who has any kind of business or creative experience I'm going to be talking to on this podcast. And I figured the best way to launch the podcast would be talking with the person that I got my start in this kind of creative business field in with, and that's my dad, Mike Edwards, previously in some other life known as Mike the Cop.
I still have the hat.
Really? Is that what that is on there? What is that?
This is I actually wore this when I worked as a cop. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah. What city is this?
Is it Oak Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This hat is
Old. How old is that? When did you start? That's
started-
2010, 11?
Yeah, I got this probably in 2010. So
Wow.
14 years ago.
I'm kind of curious, like, opening this up. You and I, obviously you're my dad. We've worked together for a long time.
Got something to tell you.
Well, you're tough. But I'm curious what, like, I want people to know who don't know what kind of your background is and what got you started in making content. Like, people will look at something with like a 2,000 foot view, like this aerial view, and be like, oh, there's all this success or these businesses that launched out of this, but they don't ever get to see like the grind at the beginning or what it looked like. And I'm curious from your perspective, how did that all start, or like your background?
Well, I mean, that's kind of a loaded question. It depends on how far back you want to go. Like, in terms of, I mean, the genesis of the Mike the Cop stuff wasn't even Mike the Cop. The genesis of the Mike the Cop stuff was really humanizing the badge and trying to. I had a conversation with myself and another lady named Tristy, who really had started the Facebook group Humanizing the Badge, and both of us had actually been doing writing. We were blogging.
Yeah.
So I
forgot about
my
that.
first viral thing was were
A
blog
blog.
posts, right?
Okay.
So that was what connected me to that. And then ultimately we were like, we need to start this organization. We had no idea really what we were going to try to funnel resources toward or whatever. But out of a meeting about drawing attention to the organization, basically we came to like, we should try video. This would have been 2015. And
Okay.
so in 2015, still kind of like the beginning of the golden age of Facebook. And we're like, well, and Vine was a thing.
Yep.
And so we saw this guy, Officer Daniels, making videos. And I thought I could try that and see if it gets eyes on. You know, that was the whole point of that, with no view, no intention of starting Mike the Cop. I had just written my blogs as Mike the Cop.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't want to put my name out there
to the world.
I didn't want to have to go through, because I wasn't making money blogging. I wanted to kind of keep anonymous fairly, you know, like in terms of who I am, what department I worked for, those kinds of things. But even then, the internet and social media was like very early for even police departments to be thinking about what their most didn't even have a policy about that. But anyway, that's how it started. Was if I could get eyes on these videos, we can point them to this organization that we're wanting to grow.
Okay, I feel like the earliest, obviously, I totally forgot about the idea of blogs.
Yeah,
Like, I forgot that's how you
making a comeback.
Because, well, I remember you doing that, and I remember you talking about putting like the ads on the side and getting the money from that, like getting a couple $100 from like a viral blog.
Well, that was kind of separate too. I actually partnered with a buddy of mine. We had a strategy around viral blog posts. You would get a blog put up, a site put up, get Google AdSense approved, and then get on the front page of Reddit. And that guaranteed you enough views to make a couple $100. And
That's
so how
funny.
often you could do that, and we did it a bunch. Like I mean, really, I haven't even thought about that in a while. But that experience definitely helped teach me, how do you connect with an audience? How do you elicit a response? How do you get a click?
Well, it's like the early hooks, right? Like now you look at like what dominates now.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube Shorts, TikToks, Instagram Reels. Like everybody is just, that's all they're really watching now. Yeah. And it's weird because there's these like video, they call them video thumbnails now. Mm-hmm. That's what they call a hook.
Yeah.
On like a short form video. It's like the first little, you swipe and you get it, and you got like 2 seconds to grab them. And it's funny because I remember when I started making content with you, it was for like Vine and Instagram. Back when it was like the square, it was only square. It wasn't vertical.
Yeah, on Instagram I think it started out as 10 seconds on Instagram and then quickly became 15.
It was 5 seconds on Vine for a while.
Well, it was 6.2 seconds or something like that.
And then they upped it to like 7 or 8, right? And then Instagram, everybody was like, "Oh, Instagram's giving you more time." But like that's all we had. We didn't have like, now shorts can be like 2 minutes or something.
Once it went longer, that you lost the genius of what made Vine.
I know. And that's what really was, I think, for me, pivotal in learning how to create content that's funny and engaging was on Vine and Instagram. Like those early days, the thing that you filmed with Jordan, the "why you always lying" thing, where he's like, "How much weed do you have in the car?" And that's the first thing that went viral, like the first video that really went viral.
How much weed's in this car?
None.
Why you always lying?
On Vine. That was it. There was other stuff
On
that you had
Vine.
done.
Yeah, I had plenty of viral stuff on Vine, but
That was the big one.
I think the one was with Zach in the back of my cop car. I think my cop captain video was my first.
Was that before that?
Facebook. I think it might have been before that. That was on Facebook. I didn't know. I didn't post anything on Vine right away.
Attention, prisoner. I'll be your police officer for this leg of the trip. Sit back on the hard plastic seats and enjoy the ride.
I'd have to talk to Daniels about it to remember the timeline. He would remember better. But I think that he and I connected on Instagram, and I think he convinced me to do
a Vine. Because he was big on Vine.
Because he was telling me, like, I woke up after I did my first Vine, and my first one, I think, which was with Jordan, I think that might have been the first Vine that I did.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know what it means. He's like, bro, it's on fire. There's a fire symbol. I'm like,
oh, dude, I forgot about that.
Is that good? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I didn't know, like, no. But I do remember, I think it was the one with Zach, the cop captain.
Okay.
And I think I made that Vine length too. That might not have done as well on Vine initially. I just can't remember all the timing of it. Anyway, this is boring. The bottom line is I woke up the next day and it blew up on Facebook. Like, overnight, it was like 1 million views. Like, and I'm like, oh. So, yeah. And I don't know that I would have been able to do that without having learned, I think, on Reddit or other things beforehand.
So, like, let's think about you were a cop full time, and well, at first it was public safety, so you're at the fire department and whatever, but you weren't really doing social media then.
No.
You were doing social media when you were just a cop. And I'm curious, and this is a question that I've been asking people, because like what seems to be a consistent theme is that since social media is so new, the people that I'm talking to that are older, they didn't get their start in like, oh, well, I'm going to jump into this job of social media or like content creation.
Yeah.
So like you have this full-time job as a cop. Did it for what, 10 years ish? 8 years full-time and then 2 years something and change.
Yeah, it's like the total time was like 11 years total.
So you've got benefits, you're working 12 plus hours a day, whatever, just a typical cop story. What made you like stop being a cop? Like to move on to do social media? What gave you like the full jump? What did that look like?
Well,
because that's so new. Like that didn't exist outside of like YouTube and stuff. People weren't like making it a career.
Yeah, I don't think that I didn't quit to be a content creator. Mm-hmm. That's a little bit of a difference for me. Like I've seen people take that journey where they're like, they start making enough off of whether it's ad revenue plus merch, that kind of a thing, and then they just go full time. Yep. I know some people that became extremely successful as content creators. That's
Me too.
That's what they do, right?
Yeah, we started alongside those people.
Yeah. So I never wanted to go that route.
Why is that?
Because I don't trust social media. because I always felt like it could be taken away from me as fast as I got.
You don't control it.
Yeah, it wasn't mine. I mean, I've made plenty of mistakes in terms of like not building an email list. There's all sorts of things that I could do over again, do better. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I used social media as a tool, as a lever to create opportunities. And so like for me, when I made the jump, it was the skill acquisition of content creation and how that plays into marketing, communication, coaching, all of those things. I use that skill building from social media to be able to get other sources of income without depending on it. So now, like, I feel like now if the only social media I had was my personal Facebook to keep connected to people or whatever, like, I'd be fine. Like I don't, because the skill can never be taken away from me, right? I can go whether it's starting a business, which I enjoyed entrepreneurship and business building. I'll probably always do on some level, but I could also be hired by a company. I have a marketable skill that is desirable. A lot of companies have great sales funnels or great sales people. They may have great system people, but most of them lack good social media marketing.
Yes,
good
and well, that's what's so interesting about like bigger companies is that you look at a company like, let's just say you've got like a Ford Motor Company. They've got millions of dollars a year for advertising dollars, millions, and
hundreds of millions,
like a lot. And you look at that advertising spend, and then you've got these people like you who start leveraging social media. And I would argue that social media has become the most effective form of advertising across all platforms, period, because it's just what people consume now. And it's kind of put this place like this power in people's hands, like the regular person's hands. Like 15, 20 years ago, it would have been really hard to like create content. Like they didn't make video cameras that were meant to film cool things like what we're doing now.
Right.
They didn't sell this stuff to people. And then social media started and people started learning how to use it as a tool. And these companies started realizing, oh, we can spend money with influencers and make money off of their content because they're already reaching people.
Yeah.
And these people are like buying into a brand and a person and they trust them. It's like the idea of like a parasocial relationship. And that's been really interesting to watch. Like I try to tell people, because I grew up like wanting to be a YouTuber, right? And my whole life I've spent just being the guy making all the videos for all these YouTubers. Like that's just what I've done. And that is a better skill than being the owner of a YouTube channel that's successful, in my opinion, because I make money and it's not going to go away.
Yeah.
That's like, people are like, how do I grow my YouTube channel, or how do I get a viral moment? And I was having a conversation with a real estate agent who wanted to do video editing, right? And you're in real estate now, but I was like talking to them and I said, a viral video doesn't equal money. Like it just doesn't anymore. Anybody can go viral. Like you can look at like those channels that just rip TikTok or like longer form videos and make short form videos out of them. Yeah, you make like a couple $1,000s a month, maybe.
People, that TikTok program where it's like $1,000 every million views, and people try to crack that algorithm, and.
But at the end of the day, you're left with nothing.
You have temporary money, which is fine, I guess. But that was why I never became a quote unquote content creator, was because it's not. Well, I was getting demonetized left and right all the time and always battling that anyway. So I didn't have that as reliable. But B, I just always wanted to build a real world business. I wanted a business that was like not brick and mortar per se, but like I'm tangibly in this business. I didn't want to just make content. So I guess in that sense, I've never made content for content's sake. There's always been a reason. It's something that it points to. The content is always pointed to something, so it's connected with people, a very particular people for a particular purpose, to do something, to move from digital to analog. I've always wanted to do that. So like, but like I said, I have a skill that can't be taken. So I was able to translate that and turn it into real world opportunities in business.
Yeah, I try to explain to people, like there's a real estate agent that I work with that I make videos for. They pay me to edit their videos, my company, Foss, and they get 52 transactions on average, like just over 50 a year from their YouTube channel.
That's great.
They have, I think it's 2,000 followers.
Yeah. Yeah, vanity metrics means nothing.
They are making way more money than somebody who has 500,000 followers on YouTube, because they've turned it into a tool for their business.
Yeah.
And they're passionate about what they're doing, and that's what keeps them going to make the content. Is it's not about like, because what it becomes really easily is like, I need to keep chasing this viral moment or keep these people's attention in order to live, instead of how can I, in this time frame, leverage this audience to direct them to this business or this product or whatever it is, this venture that I'm doing, to make money that's sustainable, like an actual future. Because there's these people on YouTube, they're called Colin and Samir, and they do like become a YouTuber, like all these tips and tricks for creating YouTube videos. And they posted this metric of like this, it's called like a creator's pyramid. And the way it's an upside down pyramid, and it's top heavy because everything relies on the creator. And if that creator stops or dies, that everything's gone.
Or sucks.
It all,
Or starts to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I think that a lot of people get the wrong idea about social media, and they want to go viral because they want like this attention.
Yeah.
But what's better is to create content with a purpose.
Yeah, I've been able to turn my social media into a super reliable source of revenue, not from, I don't make I think I made like $16 last month or something like that
Yeah.
off of ads.
But-
but
the lead gen from
I'm connecting. I'm still reaching
networking,
people that I want to reach, right? And
Exactly.
it's growing my business, which is what I want it to do. And if I'm able to then take the people that are coming into that orbit in my real estate and mortgage business and all that, and equip them to do the same thing,
yeah.
you know, I can win. But yeah, likes, comments, shares, virality, all that's relatively meaningless. Like, would you rather have a conversation with 6 people who definitely want to hear what you have to say, or would you rather have a conversation with 6,000 people of whom only 2 want to hear what you have to say? It's like, well, give me the 6.
Yeah.
And it's actually a lot easier to do that if it's done right than it is to try to always reach the max number of people.
Listen, I've got a really cool opportunity for you guys. I am launching a network called the Foss Network, and I'm giving you 20% off of your first month if you sign up now. That's where you can find the full video of this episode and any kind of exclusive content. But it's not just for exclusive content. You're going to have access to a huge list of content creators, of business owners. There's going to be live Q&As. There's going to be courses in there about content creation. How do you edit videos? How do you get started on making a podcast? How do you set up a studio? It's a huge connection point for people to network and get better at marketing their business and themselves. So go down in the description below and there's a link. Click it. You can watch the full episode there, or you can sign up to get access to more exclusive content or the learning. There's a few different tiers. Just go check it out and get 20% off your first month using code FOSS20. Thanks.
We're targeting people for a specific purpose who want to teach people about creating effective content, like, and not just being like, I need to reach, I reached 10 million people this month. It's like, okay, but if
How
only
much money did you make?
if only one person converted, it's literally pointless. It's pointless. The 10 million means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If you reached 100 people and 10 of them converted, that is way more impactful.
Right.
I'm kind of curious. So to go back to like the Mike the Cop socials, what you started, what you got known for, I think a lot of people are like, what happened to Mike the Cop? I think I get asked that question a lot. Like, seriously, people reach out to me and are like, hey, where's your dad? And I'm like, he's a pastor.
He's dead.
I should just start saying that. I've been ghost posting on Mike the Cop Facebook for years.
Line of internet duty death.
I just, oh my gosh. I can't. It's a little dark.
Also something that I'm known for.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like, what happened? Like, what led you to not be like on YouTube anymore and all of that? Like, I want people to be able to know like why it happened, because I understand why, but people don't really like. People look at that and they're like, why would you give that up? You know, why?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to give something up that I wasn't holding on too hard to. Like, I just like never planned on only doing that.
Yeah.
I felt from the very beginning of popularity of whatever that means, that it was temporary. Like
That was our mindset going into it.
yeah, I didn't have a long-term play for Mike the Cop ever in my head. I knew that I was in a moment. I knew that I was capitalizing on that moment. I knew that I was riding some momentum with it. And in the back of my mind, I was always like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
How will I let this serve me for the future, but not get stuck here? And for me, when I left full-time policing and went part-time and was starting to take some of those skills into more like the marketing world, got my real estate license, stumbled into a way to kind of like help cops do that, and build a real world business with it. And that started just consuming more of my time and energy. And then in 2020, when I stopped policing altogether, I still was doing some content. And then I just gradually like, I just didn't feel, I think in two ways that I should keep making content in that regard. One was I just felt so disconnected
Yeah.
from what was going on in the law enforcement world because I was not thinking about it. I wasn't in it anymore. So I wasn't confronted with the sort of like day-to-day relatable issues that cops would be thinking about, or the popular cases. You know, it started to be like people was like, what do you think about this? And I would realize, oh, I don't even know. Like there was a season where, I knew like the second something hit, I was ready to like start thinking about how I would comment on it, address it,
that's
make
one
content.
of what we did regularly on the channel.
So I just started to feel like disconnected from it, which was part of what made my content good, because my content wasn't, I don't think we ever really did too much overproduced stuff. Like
Never. The only thing that we really ever did, like, because it was like a learning platform for me. Like you just kind of let me do my thing, and I think that was my pay. My pay was really minimal, and we just did it for fun. Really, it was. Like
we did the cop cologne and the Halloween video. Those were like,
we did like sketches,
kind of produced.
Yeah, but not really. It was just us walking around making funny videos.
It was never like Niga Higa level or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
We ended up like doing. I think one of my favorite things we did was off the cuff. That was just fun.
Oh yeah,
but dude, it's just us having fun. Like and that's a huge thing that goes into being like a content creator.
Yeah,
is like you have to have a passion for it.
Yeah,
and I think what happened is as you were kind of fading out of that role in law enforcement and you were going more into like that marketing, entrepreneurship type deal and leaning into that.
Yeah.
The other stuff just kind of became like it's not going to work unless you're into it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to make it.
Yeah. So I had a growing disconnect with my brain power and bandwidth in my life to keep up with law enforcement stuff while trying to grow a real world business.
It's too much.
And so it just took a back seat, and it was fine because because when I started to help cops transition or supplement their income with their own real estate business, because I did it, right? Like I kind of figured out, I can make twice what I made as a cop for a third of the time.
Yep.
Like I can help other cops do this. And so we started to, and that became my business.
107 Project.
107project.com. So yeah, I was disconnected there, and I felt like if I was going to do content, and I had considered what to do or what I could do, because there's plenty of people out like Dan Bongino. He was a Secret Service guy, and he made the jump to like political commentary, stuff like that. And I considered for a season, like, do I want to? Because I think I've got the chops and the ability to do it. If I really wanted to, I could do a show. Was like,
if we really put our minds to it.
If I put together a show, I still believe to this day I could do a successful social commentary type show. Yeah. Right. I think I could do that. And
it wouldn't be that hard to do.
And
we've done it a few times.
Yeah. And I've got the background of I was a cop, and so this is kind of like I'm a Christian cop who could comment on, politics, culture, entertain. Like I could do that, right? And we did with holy cow, what was our podcast name?
Off the Cuff?
No, not off.
Failure to Stop?
Failure to Stop. I'm getting old. I mean, we did that, and by all
The
measurable
Two Dads
metrics,
podcast?
we definitely killed it with Failure to Stop.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
So I know how to grow things like that, but I just felt like I had to make a choice personally with you only have so many hours in your life, and everybody has their priorities. And I had to come to terms with myself that goes, what are my real priorities here? Not just for what I can do right now, but what's my long-term vision for my life when I die? What do I want? What do I want my wife, my kids, those closest to me
Yeah.
to know and believe and think about the impact that I left on them? And I you just got to make some choices
Do you
about
just
what you
want it
wanna
to
do.
be that I did social media and that's
Yeah,
my
and
life?
that, I
Or
mean, that
just
might not
did
be a
podcast.
bad thing.
It's
Like,
not
oh,
terrible.
he was a show creator, a content creator, and he did great at that. I mean, it's not like I wouldn't be
bad.
ashamed of that, but I'm just saying like it wasn't what was driving that vision.
Yeah.
It wasn't the vehicle that I felt like I should be in to get there. Not that it never would be or could be. Again, I'm on social media all the time, and I still use social media to grow my businesses. In fact, I've been kind of lazy with it lately. I could probably
what
do better.
what do you do now with social media? Like we kind of mentioned 107project.com. Shout out 107project. But like, what do you do now? Because Mike the Cop channel, Law Enforcement Today, collaborated with you on it, and now they post all their content there. They
Yeah.
do awesome stuff. Check them out. But also, like now that you're doing this real estate thing and you're also a pastor, like what? First of all, that's a loaded thing because people use pastor in weird ways now. But
Sure.
what do you do now with social media in those two realms? Your social media like coaching group and just your personal business, and then church too, because social media also plays a crucial role in church.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I would say that my social media is super effective at doing what I want it to do right now, which is to create conversations. I make connections with people, and it leads to conversations. And in the way that I conduct business and generate business, it's through conversations. So
Yeah.
for me, someone could look at my social media and go, this makes no sense. You're in real estate and mortgages and you barely talk about it.
Well, I think that's the thing though, is people get so caught up in like I have to be talking or presenting myself in this way, right?
Yeah.
Rather than go back to the very beginning of our conversation, how do I get people to click on this and interact with it on Reddit to where I get to the trending page on Reddit, and then I get the people to go to where I want them to go? That's what you're doing on your social media. I would call some of it like you and I had an interaction on your social media the other day,
you
and
say
it's like,
Did you call it Christian rage bait or something?
yeah, theological rage
Theological
bait,
rage
where
bait.
it's like it's people are so quick to like fill in blanks, right? Where like you look at this thing and you're just like, what you're saying is an objective truth. People can't argue that, but they start filling in their own feelings about it. And there's I think the last time I checked, it was like 130 plus comments on there. And the best thing, and you did this too with like when you were doing the police thing, it's been a consistent theme for you, is like you just bring people in with like this little thing like that people can't prove is wrong, but they don't like it or they do like it. And it creates those conversations that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I tried doing the same thing on my page. I asked you, manifesting, is it real? Why? Why not? And that was my most interacted post in like 2 years. Yeah. And I'm like, it works because people have like these weird opinions about things.
Yeah.
Even though I believe manifesting is total BS, but it was just interesting to like see it. And like, I'm like, oh yeah, I could, if I really wanted to start advertising my business on my Facebook page, that would be the way to do it.
Yeah. And people, it's funny. This could be a whole tangent conversation, but I always laugh because a lot of people look at me and go, you're an idiot. Like, this is the wrong way to go about it. But those people don't see any text messages that I get as a result of that, any DMs that I have as a result of that.
I know.
No conversations off of that, which happens, and people don't see that, and people think, well, you're representing this, and like you're assuming
just
that
assuming
you
that.
know everything about what happens as a result of these posts.
Yeah.
Like, it's silly. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's such a part of me now. I almost don't know how to do social media crappily. I mean, I can objectively look at something and go, oh, that was a flop. And here's why. Like, here's why this is but it depends on your goals, right? I never have the goal to be viral. I learned early on that you can't control that. Like, some of the things that I thought were going to be like, and I mean, me and other content creators who had gone viral a bunch go, this is going to go viral, and it flops. And then some other stupid thing that you thought of in 5 seconds and filmed, and then you throw it up there, just goes insane, right? Like,
dude, I try telling people that too. Like, there's all these courses out there, how to go viral. And you know what? I've bought courses like that because I like to learn other people's perspectives on things. Like, I'm learning. I'm constantly trying to learn from other people. But the thing that I've noticed is that none of them are the same, and they can't promise any results.
Yeah, they can't promise results, and this is another reason why I backed away from the Mike the Cop stuff, is because I think authenticity is such a huge piece of good content, and you can buy that course. I do it too. Like, I'll be like, oh, that course is $37 on how to be viral. I'll just buy it and see what they have to say, and it's always the same stuff. They give you some raw principles, but it's like you buy a recipe. You're like, okay, that doesn't make you a Michelin chef.
Yes.
So you got to put some passion, some authenticity into it. It's got to be real, and nothing in the universe can replace someone who is truly authentically believing the message or the content that they're creating, you know, the humor that it is. You can't, it'd be like, imagine trying to get a course from Theo Vaughn on how to be a comedian.
Yeah, nobody would want to do it.
You could say, like, a good comedian builds tension. A good comedian does this.
You've got this to get to a punchline at this amount of time.
It's true. A good comedian needs to find a tone that, you know, like, so all those things are like objectively true things. But if you don't have it, like, to give, and that's why, dude, there's some, like, YouTube channels that I watch religiously, and objectively speaking, it shouldn't work.
Yeah.
But it does, because the person talking is so knowledgeable about something, or so clear about something, it cuts through the things that objectively are supposed to make you go viral or keep you from going viral. And I think that's like the huge missing component. So for me, my goal has never been to be viral, but my goal now is to make connections, right? And so this is where I can do better, and I go in seasons. I did a month-long test, like in our 10-7 project. The first thing that people got to do is go sign up to get information and get into this launch group that we have, and that's like the starting point. And I think I added like 300 people in the month of October or September or something like that, with 1 month of effort, right? That was the goal. Never even cared. I didn't even look at what the views were. Irrelevant. What matters is when I log into my CRM, are more people clicking on this and getting exposed to this opportunity or not? Is my business growing? That's the metric, right? And so, you know, whether you're a restaurant owner or whatever it is that you're doing, a lawn cutter, landscaper, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, are you creating conversations, and what's your conversion rate on your conversations?
Yes.
You're like those kinds of things.
That, dude, a lot of my conversations that I have are for my business in editing. It's not even about, like, a lot of the times people they already know what they want to do, like if they're going to do something or not, and that's why they're reaching out to you. That's what I've found.
Just
It's
want
like
some confirmation from somebody.
they literally, you just need to like push them over that line. That's it, and give them the reason. And it's kind of like the idea of like you've got like your car comes with a manual, but like I don't know half the stuff about. I can change the oil, but that's about it. Like I can't replace anything on my car. I'm stupid when it comes to it. And sure, you have all the resources there, like these courses, or like you can do all the right things. But like if you don't have that passion behind why you're doing it, like that purpose, if you don't know what you want from it, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And that's what I try telling people with their content. Like you can't just do this for 1 week
Yeah.
and expect because you have a really high quality edit and a really high quality video that you're going to get success from it.
Yeah, you could go buy a red camera and film a real estate video, but it could suck just as bad as
I know.
film it on a 1998,
Dude,
whatever
I've got
video camera.
I've got a lady that we work with that does terrible green screen videos. They're awful. They're the worst videos ever. Like they're just a quality of them, but they work. And she gets tons of sales
Yeah.
through her content because she's a genuine person. She's like just talking about her area that she lives in and she loves it.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all it takes is like she's driving leads. Sweet. And I think that that's how people need to leverage content instead of focusing on, well, let's make a viral moment and build this big social platform. It's like that's kind of dead in the water now.
Well, if you're starting with the point of being viral, you're starting from the point of selfishness.
Yes.
So, and any business starting from the point of selfishness is, in my opinion, is doomed to fail.
Yep.
Right. The only businesses that succeed that are rooted in selfishness are ones where the selfish person is no longer actually running the business. They might have, they're surrounded by people who want to do it for other reasons, and it overcompensates for the selfishness, because you, as a business owner, regardless of the business, you need to make content that serves your ideal client. Your ideal client, this is free for all of you who are going to listen to this. Your ideal client either has a concern that needs to be alleviated or a hope that they want to see come true.
Yep.
Right. Or other ways of, like, people are doing one of two things at any time. They're avoiding pain and pursuing pleasure.
Yes.
So
how do you get in there quicker?
are you making content that offers them an alleviation to their pain, or content that points them in the direction that they want to go already, and you're pointing the way how to get there?
Yep.
If you can make content that reaches your ideal client and you give genuinely valuable content to them, then you're earning trust. That over time is, people tend to do business with those that they know, like, and trust. That can happen via social media. It's weird how that can happen. It doesn't make sense to a guy like me who didn't grow up like with the internet. Like, I've only had the internet and cell phones for half my life. I don't know what, like, my first half of my life didn't have those things. And so I remember a life before that, but now people will reach out to me like they know me.
Yep.
But they only know me from my content.
Yeah, no, I mean, I even get that. I have like clients that I work with that they like reach out to me and like have these really long conversations, and like it's weird that my only relationship with these people is through emails.
my business partner and one of my very good friends we started out as connections on the internet. We were friends on the internet. We were running businesses together before we ever met in person.
That's just nuts.
Yeah.
It's weird to think about, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, the whole social media landscape is kind of crazy. It's been weird. I feel like you and I learned the hard way over a long period of time.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's a missing piece too from the sort of like the info age, the online education world, all the Alex Hormozy fans. Like, information is necessary, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not. You need to be around other people who are headed in the same direction and able to share the successes and the struggles and learn. in
Yes.
real time.
Yep.
Like making the mistakes, doing the things. Like it's kind of like we need to bring back apprenticeship in the sense of like you got to learn alongside somebody somehow. Just taking the course isn't enough. Like just getting a course isn't enough.
Well, yeah,
You
because
need-
there's so much
you need
information
a
out there now.
community.
But actually, like that being held accountable and pushed to like, hey, this is what's working in my business. I learned this lesson this week. Or
Yeah.
like I had somebody reach out to me today that works with us. He does graphic design with us. And he was like, so I quoted somebody out for this thing, and then I just forgot to send out the quote when I said I would. And so I sent it out a couple days later. And now they started working with somebody else, but they don't like them, so they want to work back with me now. What do I do? And they went to me for advice because I've shared my failures where I've miscommunicated or not done something when I said I would do it.
Yeah.
And so like just it helps to have like-minded people pushing you forward.
The other thing that's around the corner for people that they're going to make a lot of mistakes on, it's going to cost a lot of creators a lot of time and heartache, is AI. Because people are going to depend on AI to try to be their brain, and it won't work.
Ah, dude.
Because AI can't be authentic. And so
Yes.
AI has to
Thank
be
you
a
for saying that.
supplemental tool, but a lot of creators are stepping into this. They're deciding right now, I need to do more social media. If the business owner or content creator, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm going to do more social media. And they're going to think that they can go to ChatGPT or Gemini or Notebook, whatever. They're going to go to
Grok, whatever it is.
whatever. And they're going to say, give me this, write this for me, do this. And they're going to think, oh, well, it's going to know exactly what to say. And like, not
Use
really.
it as a tool. I have 3 different AI programs inside my video editor. It saves me hours.
Mm-hmm.
But what it just spits out on its own, I could never use.
Yeah.
Same thing with like if I'm trying to get ideas for like a business plan together. I write out my notes and I put it into like something like ChatGPT, and I say, can you please organize my notes? Like I have like a ChatGPT that organizes all my notes I put in there. And then I can look at it and say, oh, well, can we adjust this and add this? And it can speed up or assist you in the process, but it's never going to replace that stuff. James, he has the construction company. He just sent me a video today. There's an AI job proposal thing now for construction workers. And you can like film and do all this stuff. And he's like, F my life, dude. Because now like project managers can go out and just do it.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I was telling him, I'm like, you just got to learn how to use it as a tool for your business, because you can make this even better
Yeah.
than what this person who doesn't know what they're doing is going to do with it. That you can create an upsell with it, and it actually makes your life easier. So
Yeah.
it's a tool, dude. But yeah, people are going to fall into that AI hole. Like people are even already trying to make those AI avatar things where it's just them talking, and they just put a script in.
Yeah, you
And
put a
it
script
clones their
in.
voice.
You
People do that now.
Clones your voice, face. Yeah, like I've seen it. And I've even had people recommend doing it, especially like you can be in a different language. So if you're in a Spanish speaking market, all of a sudden
I
you're
will
speaking
say
Spanish.
this: there is a client I work with who has a YouTube channel, and he's almost got 1 million followers now, and he does a Spanish translation for his video.
Yeah,
That's it. I go through and I do 2 renders. Once the final render's done on the English version, I go through and I translate all the text into Spanish.
yeah,
And then he just has AI make his voice Spanish.
yeah.
And he's got a whole other audience because of it. So he uses it as a tool.
Yep.
But there's more work that goes into it than just like, I'll just put this in here and have it spit it out. No, there's a lot more work in it.
Yeah, you got to learn how to use it, not depend on it.
Well, cool. Thanks for coming in today. It was good to talk. And if you enjoyed this, go check out the Foss Network. You're going to see the whole entire conversation on there. All the details are going to be in the description below. The network fully launches February 14th, Valentine's Day. We're actually doing a Valentine's Day launch. We've got some marketing plans around that. But you get 20% off if you sign up within February. See ya.